Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while since we've been with you here on Rougher TV as well as on Okie Country 1017. Bill Huddleston along with the coach, the Roughers, Rafe, Watkins, and gee, Coach, this almost seems like the last couple of weeks has been as long from the end of one season to the start of another.
It does. It's when we were able to go out Monday. Of course, we went out last Thursday and was able to do some conditioning. Friday we did some conditioning, and yesterday was able to finally go out in pads. And it was almost like the first day of practice. I mean, we were all excited. The kids, we had great practice. Kids flying around, and just it makes you feel fortunate. I know it's been a tough season, on and off the field, and. But it made you feel fortunate to be out there and still going, because it was a breath of fresh air. The kids, again, I think had a great time, and it was fun to be back at it.
It was fun to be, and I said it's almost like a new season. In reality, it is, because forget what's happened in the so-called regular season, if there is such a thing in Oklahoma or across the country this year as it relates to high school football and the COVID pandemic. But it is the start of a new season. Everybody goes into action this week if they're playing. All ranked the same, 0-0.
Yeah, it's play-in. We know it's not the true playoffs yet. Next week they'll start the playoffs, but it's a play-in. There's some that's already fortunate and they've got some buys. There's liable to be some more buys before the Friday hits.
Very well could be.
Just expect the unexpected, as you never know. But we're glad that we're a part of it. Obviously, again, with all the things that's gone on the season, just had the 6 games. We've had Putnam City cancel with us, and we've had the last 3 weeks, and it's been absolutely just a nightmare roller coaster type of deal. You never know. Every day's different. I said, what else can happen next? And when I opened my big mouth, as far as at least we haven't had COVID, then all of a sudden we got COVID.
Well, ask and you shall receive.
Well, I quit asking about any of that. So we're just going to go, and again, we're very thankful that we're getting to go on. It's another week of practice. It's another week for these young kids to get better. And they're certainly taking full advantage of it, because yesterday and today has showed at practice.
It's really nice to have those added opportunities, especially when you look at the existing roster and how young it is. And those that will be coming back next year are primarily the sophomores and juniors that are the multitude of the players wearing the uniforms on Friday night. And then you're going to bring up some freshmen, and eventually some of those eighth graders will become freshmen. It's nice to have those extra practice hours, if nothing else, even if you don't play a game.
Well, sure. We've got we've had the 4 freshmen that's been playing a ton this year. Of course, they're starting, but we were able to bring about, the freshmen finished their season
undefeated.
And was in here last time talking about championship, and they were able to do that. We didn't get to play that week because Booker T called and canceled, and then this last time Sapulpa had to cancel. So it's been hitting everybody. It's just crazy, but they did finish undefeated, and they're the conference champions again this year. The 8th grade finished undefeated and was conference champions. They did get to go over and play Sapulpa and beat them, and so they ended up being the conference champions also. So the 2 young groups, were really proud of them. But as you said, the freshmen was able, after their season, had some that went on to basketball, but the majority stayed with us. They wanted to continue to practice, and so I was really proud of that. We've got a few that went to wrestling, a couple, and then there's some others that stay with us. So the majority stayed with us and are going to be with us through the off season, and hopefully, again, they're really enjoying it, and it's important that they get this extra week, 2, 3, if the good Lord willing, that's what we'd love to have.
Absolutely.
But the main thing is we've got this 1 week, and we're going to take full advantage of it.
And for those that may not know, the Roughers will be on the road to the opening round of the 6A2 Division playoffs starting this Friday night. They'll be on the road at Rose Field. They're in Midwest City against the Bombers of Midwest City, who we've come to know pretty well over the past 4 seasons. And ironically, Rafe, it's been whoever plays on the road picks up the win. Let's hope that trend continues.
Let's certainly hope, because, they've beat us both times at home here at the Indian Bowl, and we beat them both times, including last year there at Rose Field. Not an easy place to win.
Not an easy place to find if you don't have a pretty good GPS.
Boy, I tell you, people talk about how hard the Indian Bowl is to find sometimes, because they always go to the high school and start looking around, and but it's easy to find compared to that, because you go up in a couple of neighborhoods and wind back in there, and all of a sudden it just appears. And so, if you don't have your GPS, CBS or have been there before. With this, with it being dark now, you'll just follow the lights, find the lights, and you can find it. But, should there be good weather, I think there's a little chance of rain. But come and support the kids. They deserve it. They're going to work hard. Again, it's not been anything that people's wanting, and including ourselves and most of all the kids.
Right.
But they still go out and they fight hard every day, and we're going to always be there to support them. And I'm really proud of the way that they've come back this week.
We're going to talk a little bit more later on in our program about this Friday night's encounter as to whether or not it'll be 7 or 7:30 kickoff.
It's 7.
It is going to be 7 o'clock. That is confirmed. So the Ruffers will kick off Friday night, 7 o'clock there at Midwest City. We'll talk a little bit more about the Bombers and what the Ruffers are preparing to do for that first-round encounter. But in this next segment, we're going to walk back in time. We're going to flash back to, the days of a former Ruffer who still hangs around the football camp each and every day as one of the coaches on the staff. Don May is going to join Coach Watkins and myself. We continue live from Runts BBQ, where the burnt ends were fabulous.
As always.
And the catfish, Don, was
outstanding.
And my brisket and catfish, good. That's all I can say. We're going to take a quick break and come back, and we'll talk with Don Mays about Ruffer football and his memories of being a Ruffer. That after this timeout, you're watching Ruffer TV and listening to Okie Country 101.7.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
New Silverados up to 15,000 in total savings. Hi, Jay Hodge, and it really is the best time to buy at the all-new Jay Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. Tell them, Rick.
Summer sale down of all new 2020s.
New Silverados up to 15,000 total savings.
Don't overpay, come see 15KJ.
New Silverados up to 15,000 total savings at the all-new Jay Hodge Chevrolet of Muskogee.
144 West Shawnee.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905, serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
There's an old school way of doing business here at James Hodge Ford. Exceptional service, a firm handshake, and the best price around on a new Ford vehicle. Of course, don't forget our Hodge promise to you, our customer, that's stronger than oak. That's just a great way of doing business.
The James Hodge Ford promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee, online at hodgeford.com.
Welcome again back, everybody. We're inside Runts BBQ, where the barbecue is always fantastic. And fortunately, maybe with the time change to off of daylight savings time, allowed us to get in here a little bit early and put away the grub. And now Rafe, you were saying something about wanting a nap?
Well, I tell you what, normally we're sitting here waiting and anticipating getting to eat. And now that we already ate, I'm kind of just sitting here getting sleepy. Had to wake Don up a while ago, so hopefully he can speak with us here in this segment.
I'm quite sure he'll have plenty to say because
he usually
he's
does.
Usually a man of many words. And if you don't believe that, just ask him. So we're going to do that. What year did you graduate, Don Mays?
The wonderful year of 1992.
1992. And for those of us who have been around a few years longer than that, I moved to Muskogee in 1984 and still remember your very first plane ride. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, to East St. Louis.
And a dramatic night for the Roughers, and did something on that Friday night that nobody thought they could do, maybe kind of like the same scenario, Rafe, we got coming up for this Friday night. But we'll find out what happens. But let's talk a little bit about your playing days. And there was another player on the field that wore a different number. You wore number 1.
Right.
Another young man wore the number 23.
Right.
His name, Don Mays. But the people continuously got you confused. How could they have told you apart?
Well, it's easy because I was the one to get the ball handed to him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They had to throw the ball to Ron.
But
if I didn't score.
Remember, Rafe, his brother is doing police work tonight, so he can't be here to defend himself.
Oh, well, I get to listen to both of them enough that I promise you I've heard every story over the last 7 years, and to hear them go at it, it's quite a feat. I mean, you can sit there. They will keep you awake.
Obviously. So, Don, I mean, how much fun was that, though, in your high school to have a chance to share those many memories you made as a Rougher with your twin brother, Don?
Ron.
Excuse me. See, I told you I get confused. Just whatever.
You know what? It's always a joy to be born with someone and to grow up with someone and and play with that person. I mean, we're two peas in the pod. I mean, we did everything together and got a chance to put on this green and white together. It's awesome.
And now in your adult life, you're getting to share that too because you and your brother get a chance to be a part of the coaching staffs. He works more on the middle school level, but still, you're there in the locker room each and every day and talking about Rougher football and trying to make those guys out there play like you did and like he did back in the 90s.
Well, these guys they're playing hard. I mean, they're playing hard, and I look at it as a blessing. I'm living a dream. To get a chance to have played here, grew up here, and get the chance to coach with at your alma mater. Oh, listen, it's a dream come true. And these kids, listen, they're learning the Rougher way, and that's to play hard.
And Rafe also had the three-peat honor because not only did he get to play with his brother and coach with his brother, but he also got the chance to be a part of the coaching staff and actually have some coaching direction with his son, who played just a couple of seasons ago.
And,
who may have been the best athlete of the three.
Well, okay.
I knew that was coming, but no, he did a great job. I do remember him making a big play against Bixby that they may not have made, and and he that'll go down. He's got his place in Rougher history with that catch he made late against Bixby to be able to beat them.
The Mays brothers were some of the first people you met when you came to town. What was it that impressed you about him that you knew you wanted him to be a part of the football program?
Well, I tell you, to come in that first, I was coming to interview, and there was an ice storm. I mean, there was stuff frozen everywhere, and I come over. I was just going, like usual, I got there about an hour early, and so I was driving around town, talked to David Heath, and he said there's all over at the stadium. I had no idea where the stadium was at, so I just got to driving around and finally found it. I go in there, and there wasn't a light on in the building, and it was about 40 degrees. I mean, you could see your breath in there. I just went in there and said, fellas, has anybody paid an electric bill around this place or anything in a while? And I mean, it's freezing in there. And I just remember seeing him over there in the corner, and they're just all sitting there and no lights on. I couldn't figure it out, but that's all talking, and we had a good visit. And then, once they offered me the job, I took it, and then getting to interview everybody, it was enjoyable to get to know them. And again, they're so valuable to us, not just because of the football knowledge, but they know everybody in town and they're respected by everybody. And, if you need to find out about anything between those two and Macnac, pretty much you can figure out anything that you need to know about people at Muskogee.
It certainly is nice to have that triad of connections to the community. And
for sure.
That goes all the way back to, as he mentioned, the 90s. And
Well, and those guys work hard too, and that's he hasn't said anything about his mother, but he talks about his mom a lot.
He does,
and must have been a very special lady because him
she
and
was.
Ron both to come up and be the men that they are, and to know that their work ethic, that lets you know a lot about her.
I can tell you from personal experience, it was always yes, ma'am. There was no ma'am.
No, it was no ma'am.
What else could I do? Am I
But
correct?
there was definitely a ma'am after whatever he answered.
Definitely.
What would you like for it to eat? Whatever you're cooking, Mama.
Yeah, that's it.
There was no special order drive-through, was it?
No.
Tell me what it's like for you on the sidelines now. Tell me about the practices and how you try to bring back those old flashback moments and share that with the kids out there on the field and coach them. You're working with the cornerbacks,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And working with the secondary unit, how you try to share those skills with today's players.
Well, as soon as Coach Hill came in, he told me what he wanted in the corner and how, what his ideas of what he wanted his corners to be. So we talked about that, and so I implemented that. The biggest thing is that to play loose, learn your technique, and once you get an interception, listen, run like a scalded dog. But most of all, just play hard and just try to compete every chance. If the ball is thrown, try to compete. On the sideline, just trying to get the guys pumped up. Next play attitude, because if it was a bad play this time, okay, guess what? There's another play.
Right.
As long as the offense keeps snapping the ball, we have a chance to get a turnover.
And being able to do that can often impact the flow of a ball game. It can stop a team from feeling like they're going to win to feeling like, we're kind of in a worried situation, and a couple of turnovers can spell the difference in victory or loss.
Exactly.
Now, in addition to football, you are involved with another connection to the community, and that's your youth track league. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's a league that Ron and myself we started. It's called No Speed Limit Track Club. We used to.
That's really hard for me to grasp with a policeman saying there's no speed
limit. Exactly. Well, that was the catchism for it.
Yeah.
But we wanted to start it. Hershey used to do a track meet here. They stopped doing it. Hershey stopped funding it. So kids still wanted to run track. So we got a bunch of kids together. We got them out of school and took them to Tahlequah, but we got in trouble for that. But anyway, so we started the Summer Track Club, and it's been phenomenal for the kids, the surrounding area kids, not only Muskogee kids, but the surrounding areas. I mean, all the way from, we get some kids from Broken Arrow, from Warner, from Gore, Stigler,
right.
Wagner.
And the age group on these kids?
The age group is 6 to 18.
6 to 18, girls and guys.
Girls and guys.
And having just been out to the Indian Bowl on a couple of occasions when they were going through their workouts, it's giddy up go.
Oh, yeah.
How much does that help the early experience for the younger kids to come on through the middle school and in the high school program, whether they're playing football or track?
Well, the thing of it is to get them used to competition and understanding track, because a lot of kids run, but they just don't know how to run. And so I guess we make it fun for them, I guess. I mean, I don't know if we do, but evidently they keep coming back. So, and that's a feeder program to the junior high. And then after that, the high school. So, and just like right now, the majority of our girls now are on the junior high and the high school team now. Some of the boys are they're in the 8th grade, going to be freshmen. But they're coming up.
And it's nice to have those feeder programs like his No Speed Limit Track, like the youth football leagues that begin to ingrain some of the parts of the football game that you and your staff will coach them through from the time they hit the 8th grade all the way till they walk out on their final performance.
Well, and the key is they got to have success and they got to have fun. If it's not fun for them whenever they're in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, that's what I've always said about, you always worry about starting football too early with them. If they're 1st and 2nd grade and it's not, they get that guy, that dad that thinks it's the Super Bowl, well, it's not going to be fun to them. They're not going to want to come back out there and they played bull in the ring all day long. That's not going to be fun to nobody. So they're going to not play. And it's already tough enough to get kids out for football right now nationwide because of the scare of of the concussions and stuff. And so they need to have success and need to have fun when they're young with it. 7th grade is plenty early to start taking stuff serious. And just again, if you can get the basics, and that's what I always told my junior high coaches. Yeah, we want to win ball games, but I want the fundamentals taught. Your best coaches have to be at the young, just like he was talking about, getting kids to. Yeah, you can go out and just run. but do they have proper form? Are they getting their knee lift? Are they using their arms? I mean, people just don't realize how important, you think of running, you think it's all legs. It's your upper body too.
Yes.
And so with them teaching the proper form and stuff, it's helping out our young athletes.
So what do you and your brother do to go out in the community and encourage both men, young women and young men, boys and girls, to get involved in these type of early experiences, to train them up in the way that you want them to go, as the good book says, to come out to be a rougher in the future?
So the thing of it is, one of our things that we do is get from up under your mom and dad. I mean, come out, be with your peers. Well, I may not be good, but that's fine. I'm not worried about if you're good or not. Just come out. Because, again, Rome wasn't built in a day per se. If you keep progressing, you will get good at it. And the thing of it is, what your definition of good is may not be my definition of good. But as long as they having success in whatever their definition of success is, then it's good for everybody. So the kid continues to stay in the football, the soccer, the basketball, or whatever, and progressing. So by the time they get to high school, they still love it.
And it's a little bit the same way we saw with the Rougher Youth Sports League and the flag football stuff that was going on out there last weekend. It's all about creating an environment of fun and letting these kids learn a little bit along the way.
It is, and then again, there's always time to get serious about it, and I think even at the junior high level, we take it too serious sometimes. It's at the high school, obviously, there's jobs won and lost over it, and there's kids that are going to get scholarships to go to college and for the rest of their life. And some of them, that's about the only way they're going to go on to college is by getting some type of athletic scholarship to help pay for it at home. So it does get a lot more intense once you get up to the higher levels. But at the level he's talking about right there, from your second through to seventh and eighth graders, they need to have as much fun as possible while also learning great technique.
Absolutely. Now, I ask you this all the time and kid you with you a lot about who was the better athlete, you or your brother, and who was the faster athlete. And I'll go ahead and say it now. If I'm truthful, he was the faster of the two. Now, if we were to go out there today, and line it up, you versus Officer Mays, who's going to win?
Ron Mays is going to win.
Yeah, there you go. The tide has turned, so to speak.
Listen, these burn-ins, hey, they,
there'd be something else burning too.
I'm telling you.
Exactly. Don Mays, always good to have you here, my man.
Always good. Thank you,
always glad to have guys like you be a part of the Rougher football program.
Yeah, good.
We're going to come back and we're going to talk about Friday night's 7 o'clock kickoff against the Bombers of Midwest City. But after this timeout, Rougher TV and Okie Country 1017.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee Trusts, Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
What makes Nissan of Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers. Well, that and an amazing lineup of trucks, sedans, and crossovers, like the advanced technology and serious muscle of the V8 400 horsepower Titan, or the sleek, smart SUV Rogue. Drive a little and save a lot at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. Become a part of our family.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
JTK Imaging Services of Muskogee brings mobile digital imaging to you anytime, anywhere. JTK Imaging Services offers parents-to-be excitement and comfort of 3D and 4D ultrasound with ultrasound as low as $100. Services at JTK Imaging Services also include mobile digital ultrasound and x-ray anytime you need them. Discover the difference online at jtkimagingservices.com. JTK Imaging Services of Muskogee at 1631 North Main.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Roughers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
I'm Gil McLaughlin.
I'm Brian Kirkhart.
Thanks, Muskogee. Your hometown mortgage team, Muskogee Mortgage, the McLaughlin team, is proud to be Muskogee's preferred mortgage company.
We are extremely honored to serve you. Just like the Roughers have a game plan for victory, our daily game plan is to assist families to reach their financial goals.
Thanks, Muskogee, and good luck, Roughers, on your drive to win in 2020.
Your new home isn't so far away with the help of Muskogee Mortgage, 3241 Chandler Road, Muskogee, and online at MuskogeeMortgage.com.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Rougher Athletics sponsors: Armstrong Bank, Oklahoma Army National Guard, Arvest Bank, Chick-fil-A Muskogee, Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, St. Francis Muskogee, Tommy Nix Auto Group, Springs Skilled Nursing and Therapy. Go Roughers!
Hi again, everybody, and welcome back inside Runts BBQ on our Tuesday Coaches Show, talking Muskogee Rougher football with the head coach of the Roughers, Rafe Watkins. And Coach, during the break, Shane, our producer, was telling us about his 16th birthday and Don Mays and company showing up and doing the rap. I wish we'd have thought to get him to see if he could recall any of that stuff.
I'm actually glad we didn't. I'd hate to hear it.
Well, it's kind of some of the rapping that I hear in the coach's box, coming out of the coach's box during the ball games. But speaking of ball games, a big one for the Roughers. It's a winner, go home type situation against a very good football team, the Bombers of Midwest City. And maybe it's just like the year of 2020. Expect the unexpected, and you come home with a win.
Well, I can tell you we're going to go down there and do our very best. The kids are, we talked about it. We talked about during the week of playing with house money. Explain to them what that was. You know, you go to a casino, if they give you $100 to play with it, well, you can't lose.
Right.
Because they won't let you take it home, so you can't lose. So right now we've been given that opportunity. As on a normal year, we all know we wouldn't have made the playoffs. As it is, we've got a gift here, and if you want to call it playing, you want to call it playoffs, whatever, we're still getting to play another week. We win and we advance, and we go on. So everybody's even right now, whether you were 9-0, 7-0, 10-0, whatever you are, because I don't think there's too many in our division that got to play 10 ball games. You know, and for us, we just had the 6. So there's a few other teams that's played less than us, but not many. But the main thing is, again, we go down there and we play. The last game we played was the best game we played this year against Choctaw, you know. And, again, we're starting all the young ones, but we played really, really well down there. You know, didn't get the win, but we played well. We're looking to see that we can do the same thing with advance, even though we didn't practice for 2 weeks. The kids with the refreshed attitude that they come back to this week, I really didn't know because, you know, the good thing is Dr. Mendenhall and Dr. Parker was able to get us out. You know, and right now the football team is on virtual learning, so that in case, you know, we had the outbreak, because that one day we lost 14 guys from the distancing. So hopefully by kids being at home, and it wasn't mandatory, I've had 8 or 10 because they realize and they feel like they do better at school, and we know that. But by just that few being there, if something were to happen tomorrow or Thursday, at least we're not going to lose half of our team, because there's no canceling now. There's no getting around it. It's playoffs. You got to go play whether you have 13 or if you have 113, and that's what we're looking at. So I'm very appreciative that they come up with that, and of course we're all for it. And again, our kids have taken full advantage of that.
Real quick, we don't have much time left. Capsule on the Bombers in Midwest City. Darrell Hall's ball club, always going to be fast, always going to be strong, and maybe offensively stronger this year than defense, but they've always been good defensively.
You know, the last 4 years, they're always good defensively. Sometimes their offense have not been much. You know, last year they were not very good when we played them game 1 offensively. But they brought, I think after game 4, they were 0-4, and they brought their freshman quarterback up. So that now he's a sophomore. They ended up getting 4th in the district last year. Got to play Bixby in the first round, and actually played Bixby about as well as anybody in the playoffs, other than Stillwater, obviously, in the finals. But they're a much better offensive club than they were last year. Defensively, they're always going to be good. They're going to be good up front. They're going to stunt. They're going to run to the ball well, and they tackle well. And so they got good size. We're going to have to play our best ball, obviously. We're going to get a few breaks, but we're going down there with intentions of winning the ball game.
Well, that's why you play the game. Muskogee at Midwest City, Friday night, 7 o'clock will be kickoff. Pre-game here on Okie Country 107 and on Ruffer TV starting at 6:30. For head coach Rafe Watkins and for the infamous number 1, Mr. Mays. Bill Huddleston say so long. Welcome back anytime to come to Runts BBQ, best barbecue in town. We'll see you Friday night at Rose Field when the Ruffers take on the Bombers. Good night, everybody.